So let's do a little bit of post-election analysis, Charlie. Now that most of the votes have been counted, at least here in Michigan, the one proposal that got the most attention, Proposal 3, allowing abortion rights, and that is what we believe, I think what everyone would say was what drove so many voters to the polls, too.
Yeah, I think both Democrats and Republicans would agree on that. It was a very controversial proposal, and even though it passed 57 to 43%, which was overwhelming in this day and age of politics, some people are now, I understand, are perhaps wanting to challenge that in court. Now, first of all, can they do that? Yes, there's two ways to change an amendment, I guess. One, you have another amendment. You just go to get on the ballot. You got to get the requisite signatures, that type of thing, put it on the ballot to repeal this one and institute a new one. That's one way. The other way, the legislature can actually vote. 3/4 of each of the House and Senate can vote to get rid of an amendment. Very difficult. I don't think it's ever happened in Michigan history. I may stand corrected. Maybe sometime it did, but not in recent times anyway. The other way, you go to court. Now, you can have to challenge it on some constitutional issue, and that's going to be difficult also. But some people are saying that the language is so vague, like we heard during the campaign, and now they'd want a judge to take a look at it. And then some people say it's overbreadth, meaning that it now talks about parental consent, and it talks about some other issues, perhaps, late-term abortions, for example. So is that challengeable? It's challengeable. I don't think it's going to go too far, but it is challengeable.
Now, I'm not a legal scholar by any means, Charlie, so that's why I'm going to ask you this question. And you may not know the answer to this one, but once an amendment is voted in, can they adjust the wording of the amendment and it still be on the books, or do you have to completely put in a new amendment?
The whole thing goes. It's not, you can't piecemeal. It's the whole thing.
It's either in or out.
It's either in or out, because we voted on the entire amendment.
Right.
So go get another amendment, go through the process and repeal this one.
You can change one sentence, but that's another amendment.
It's another amendment. You gotta go through the process.
You expected some court action as a result of this, right?
Yeah, there's a couple people that are thinking about challenging it. We have two cases in the Supreme Court right now on abortion to undo the 1931 law. Two judges in Michigan said it was the 1931 law unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court has not made a ruling on that yet. But I think that after 45 days, when this amendment will take effect, I think the Supreme Court is going to say that the issue of the 1931 law is moot, meaning it's no good anymore, because this amendment would trump the
take
law.
Precedence, is that the term?
Take precedence.
See what I
well,
did?
law, it would trump it probably,
Charlie, you had an interesting discussion yesterday, and it was on the topic of Michigan Republicans. Where do they go from here? A total clean sweep in the state of Michigan for the Democratic Party. What does the party's future hold in this state and beyond? And will Donald Trump be a part of it?
Well, so I went to Macomb County, I went to Oakland County as well, but I went to Macomb County because that's kind of to some extent, the county of Donald Trump. And there's two groups in Macomb County, two Republican groups, and they're totally different of opinion for the most part. One group says, keep Donald Trump. He was good. In fact, double down on Donald Trump. The election was still stolen. This one's stolen, et cetera, et cetera. That's one group. The other group says it's time to get rid of Donald Trump or modify Donald Trump. The policies are good, but the person is bad. And that seems to be where the division is. Well, they didn't say that, but it could be DeSantis, it could be somebody else, anybody else but Trump. Keep the policies, but ditch the guy, ditch Mr. Trump. So that's Macomb County. I went into Oakland County also, and it seems to be, there's a movement now to not be so pro-Trump. And I mean,
distance yourself from the divisive, polarizing
the Republicans got killed. The three Trump main people on the top of the ticket all lost. But more than that, they didn't get any money from them. And the Democrats love attacking Trump. So if you're a Republican, you got to say, where does this party go? We have to regroup because it didn't work this election. It just didn't.
Are they far apart? Or are they far apart? Because the discourse is what everybody focuses on and how people are interacting. And I think we're looking for more civility. Are they far apart?
In Macomb County, I'd say yes, they are. I think there's a group of people that are very conservative, and they do want Donald Trump. He was president. He gas prices were low, people were working, the stock market was
Right.
good, foreign policy, these are all arguments that they make. But there's some merit to that. And the other side will say, now, wait a minute, he lost the election, and then he didn't do well in Michigan, for example. It's time for change.
If you look at politics like a sport, as a game, though, the score says everything. Look at what happened in Ohio. Mike DeWine won that governorship by over 25 points. J.D. Vance, backed by Trump, won by 8. Brian Kemp in Georgia won that governorship going away, not with Trump. Herschel Walker in a runoff. You know what I mean? It's just go by the scorecard. You know what I mean? If you look at it like a game.
And it does seem like some Republicans are saying, okay, this is halftime or whatever metaphor you want to use. We need to adjust our game plan here and figure out what's going to win us this game.
Right. Because that's all you're trying to do is win the game. Yeah.
I mean, the Democrats was a shutout, and the Republicans were shut out. So now you got to go back, and you do have to regroup.
It's a sport.
It's a sport.
It's a game.
Exactly.
You're trying to win the game.
Yeah.
You have 4 more years to figure it out.
Who are you hiring for your coach?
We'll take a quick break. More Charlie after this.